And there we go.
Okay, it's
Meeting
recorded.
is being recorded.
Thank you, Zoom. All right.
I just want to double check one thing before we start. If I hit present or let me see slideshow. Okay, can you guys see it big screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can now, yes.
You can see it big screen? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Just want to double check that before we start. Are we good to go whenever?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right. Hi, Donald. This is Team 22. My name is Ryan, and I'll be working on the front end of this project. So I wanted to talk about what's wrong with libraries. Libraries aren't convenient. You have to go to the library, find the book that you want that is available, see if it's available, and go through the checkout process. So this process is kind of inconvenient because you have to go find your book, go to the library, and see if it's available, right? So as well is that this could be inconvenient for the library. The library also has to have space to display the books, and they have to have a knowing of if they have those books too. So what about your events? You also want to know if the library is hosting any events. So what is our solution to this? Our solution as a group, we decided that we wanted to make a website where members can do the following, where you could search for the books that you want, reserve them, and go through the checkout process at that library. See if there's any events, and then view if your items have been checked out and when they are due. So when you have to return those books before you get a late fee. So what is our framework for this project? Our framework for this project for the front end portion is going to be HTML and Java. For the back end, we're going to be using SQL, PHP, and JavaScript. I'm going to give it off to someone else right now.
Hello, I'm Jingyi, and today I'll be presenting our user stories for the library management system. The user stories represent the need for various users that are interacting, including customers, students, employees, and admins. So first, as a customer, I want to see if my book is available at the library. And I also want to search for books by filtering. Some of you may be confused what is the difference between a customer and a student. So in fact, even though you're not logged in and do not have an account, you can still use our use our search system to look for books you want. As a student, I want to register for an event because I want to discuss topics related to my studies. I also want to reserve for checking out the book to pass my class this semester. Even though the real checkout would be in person, our reservation system provides a good understanding for both students and employees about the availability of books. As a customer, I want to see the due dates of my borrowed books. Our system offers an event management module and provides a user dashboard so that students can register for upcoming events, for example, workshops and discussions. Here comes to the employee side. Next slide, please. As an employee, I want to check out books for users, change the status of book reservations, as well as add and remove what books are physically available in the library. Employees can use our system's checkout module to efficiently process book checkouts. The system can identify the book and assign the book to the customer's account. Employees can also update the state of book reservations in our system to provide an accurate information. Our system also allows employees to add new books to the collection and remove outdated. Next slide, please. Lastly, it's about the admins. As an admin, I want to have all the capabilities of an employee plus the ability to manage the availability of books. As an admin, I want to add and remove books to ensure customers have a satisfactory experience on the website. I also want to create new events so that members can be entertained. Admins have full access to all employee functions. They can also edit book details, ensuring that catalog is accurate. Admins can also create new events, providing detailed information such as date, time, location, and description. These are the user stories we have in our initial setup. During our development process, we may modify our user stories. Thank you.
Hi, this is Shi, and I will be working on the front end with Ryan for this project, and I will be talk about the risk and product backlog. We recognize a poor website design and navigation can lead to a frustrating user experience, affecting how long users stay on our sites. So we're gonna take steps to improve this. First, we're gonna to make a website that looks clean, where users can find everything they need right on the homepage. Second, we will clearly outline all our events so users can easily see what's coming up. And lastly, we will create a easy to use login and sign in system to make sure users can safely access our website and enjoy all our services. Next slides, please. Backlog help us organize and plan work so the team knows what needs to be done in each sprint. This backlog includes all the main features we need to develop for our library management system. Story points are units of measure used to estimate the complexity and efforts required to complete a task. We use numbers to assign story points from 1 to 15. Higher numbers means more complex and might take a longer time. Login and registration. Ensure a connection to a database. Establish basic account types. Create a basic login UI. Account management. Develop admin tools and features. Differentiate account types of permission. Book checkout. Create an employee checkout return system. Assign book return dates. Allow for book reservations. Events manager. Allow users to request dates for events and RSVP for them. Display current future events to members. Allow employees to accept or deny reservations. Homepage. Enhance UX and with an easy-to-navigate homepage. Implements a dashboard for quick website traversals. Lastly, reviewed. Final code testing. Test for flaws in security. Thank you.
Mike's muted.
Okay, there you go. Hi, I'm Cameron. I'm going to be working on the back end with Jingy. And so we've divided this up into 6 sprints since we have around, I believe it's 7 weeks until the project is due or until the product needs to be delivered. And so I decided to break this up into 6 sprints, each with like 1 to 2 weeks involved. That way, if we ideally should be 1 week each, but we still have a little wiggle room if some things take longer, which, just happens sometimes. And so for our sprint 1, which is our first week, we're going to be doing the initial setup of the project. And so that's going to include developing an entity relationship diagram, the ERD, that we'll be using for our backend database. We'll be using it for all the users, the books, and events. And then it'll also include implementing that entity relationship diagram into SQL, which is the database system that we're going to be using to store all of this. And then we're also going to be developing the login and hashing the passwords for security. Those go hand in hand. And so we're hashing these passwords that way. If, let's say there is a database leak, let's say that there's some problem with it where someone, with malintent gains access to our database, they don't just have a list of usernames and passwords. They have a list of basically things that are useless to them. And so then we also need to create the login and user registration pages. And so that's just a way that we can confirm that, hey, this is working the way it's intended, because it's one of the main features that we need to be working on. Otherwise, it'd just be a useless website. And we also would manually insert the first admin account into the database that we can use to sign into. That then can create all the other admin accounts. Okay, next slide. So for our second, I'm sorry, I just see like a fade. Okay. For our second, for Sprint 2, we're going to be dealing with our account permissions and our basic UI. So we're going to establish the main membership functionalities. And then we're going to implement just basic UI and user experience for key features. We're going to be, as I said, developing that login page and the basic pages that we can just to ensure that, or sorry, completely. Okay. We are going to be, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to be developing the user experience and the user interface for the key features, which are useful for the admins, members, and employees. And then we're going to connect the user database to the front end. So that'll allow for everyone to be able to log in, log out. And we're also going to be working on creating the different pages that are accessible by the admins and the employees. That way members just don't have access to every single page out there that maybe only admins want to use, such as the book editing page or the ability to reserve events, things like that. And then we're also going to develop basic admin privileges and employees. We're going to be testing out the ability for only an admin being able to create an admin, because that's one of the key features. And then also see if we can get the employees to be able to interact with the databases. Okay, next slide. Okay, so for this, we're for our third week, our third sprint, we're going to be dealing with the main book checkout system, the book database interactions. And so that's going to involve connecting the book database to the front end and allowing all the books to be displayed onto the screen, whether that be in a table, div, some feature like that. And then also we're going to develop a way for just basic book checkout and return, add it to the database or mark it as available in the database, mark it as busy or as taken. Because that's one of the most important core features. So it'd be nice to get that out early. And then also we have a system for reserving books. We plan on creating that a way to at least mark it in the database that, hey, this book is reserved for this date or at this time. So, don't let the last one go out of stock. And then we're going to be able to design the interactable database elements. And so that's going to be focusing more on the employee side of it and the admin side of it, of adding books to the database when you get more books, deleting books from the database when you remove them, modifying them, editing the count, how many different versions of the books you have, all those important things that we need to keep track of for an accurate and reliable library system. And then next, we are going to be dealing, that is the second time, Donald. Okay, next we are going to do week 4, the sprint 4, we're going to do event management. Basically, we're going to try to cover as many of the event key points that we need. We're going to allow for them to be scheduled. We're going to try to create a calendar system for that, and then give users the ability to reserve days for events. And then also allow admins to approve events. That way that we can have events be added into the system that can be viewable by everyone by everyone that visits the website. And also we're going to create an RSVP system. That way we can get a general head count for any events that may be happening. And then I'll speed up. Okay. Implement a live calendar next. Then this is going to be the home page. It's going to be the center of how the user navigates. Ideally, it would have everything on it, such as a current event or upcoming events. And then once you log in, it would show the books that you checked out or the books or the return dates that you would need. And along with, we would also have a navigation bar at the top, a nav bar that's just allowed for easy convenience for all users. And then we're also just going to touch up the CSS and HTML to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Next, we have the final testing for Sprint 6. Next slide. We have the final testing for sprint 6. And then this is just going to make sure that everything's working as it's intended. No possibilities of SQL injections or any other attacks that may hinder the user experience and make it unreliable. Yeah, review everything. Ensure, yeah. Okay. And then next.
Okay, so our velocity size is total of 35 points divided by 2 sprints equals 17.5 points per sprint. And capacity size is 4 people times 4 hours per week and times 2 weeks equal 32 points. And that's it for our estimation. Thank you. Any questions?
All right. I think, let's see. I think we went over all of the categories of stuff that we need to go over, so that's good. I think everything was mostly good. The one thing I do have a comment on, so for when you have the like breakdown of what you're doing in each sprint,
Mhm.
I just want to clarify here. It is 2 2-week sprints.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this will technically take place over 6 weeks.
Okay.
And the way that you have everything broken down into like the order of the way that you're doing things is very good. That's totally fine. But the way that it works, so this is week 6. Yeah, week 7 is break. Weeks 8 and 9 are sprint 1. Then week 10 is a presentation week, which you could still be writing code during. Technically, that's not like what's expected in terms of the sprint breakdown, but you still have that time for it. And then 11 and 12 are sprint 2. Week 13 is final presentation and wrap up. So you still essentially have 6 weeks that you have to work on it. And the breakdown that you have, like doing a week by week breakdown, even if you are doing a 2-week sprint and you want to have a little bit more granularity, that is totally fine. It's mostly a semantics thing, but I just want to make sure that that is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyebrow got me a couple times.
Oh, that was actually not about the presentation. That was about something on my end.
Okay.
And I was trying to go. My alt tab is glitching like mad. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry that I was not trying to throw you off, but my
You're good.
computer was absolutely losing its mind.
You're
I was
good.
trying to alt tab to like make a note, and then all of my windows minimized
Nice.
unexpectedly, and then I had to pull the presentation back up. So that was what that was. Sorry about that. All right.
No, you're good.
So other than that, just make sure that you get this recording uploaded and added as a comment. Also, there are 2 assignments that are due this week: the individual contribution report and the peer reviews. Neither of those are available currently because for some reason Canvas thinks they're in module 8 still, and I can't update that until I know what day they're supposed to be due. So I'm waiting on a professor answer for that. When they do become available, I'll send a Canvas announcement. So just pay attention, make sure those are both there.
So would they be due this week, Monday or Sunday?
They would be due. Normally, they would be due next Wednesday.
Okay.
But the reason I'm not sure is because that's during break, so I don't know if that means you have extra time or not. That being said, they're both trivial assignments in terms of like the amount of time that it takes you to do. So it probably won't be an issue.
Individual.
They are about the group project, but they are individual assignments.
Okay.
So the individual contribution report is what did you do during the sprint 0, and then the peer reviews are rating what your teammates did during.
Okay.
So it's relatively straightforward. Also, one other thing is that the peer review assignment is a quiz, not an assignment, which the only reason it doesn't actually matter. It's the exact same thing. The only reason I mention it is because some people last semester had their calendars configured to
by date or something like that, or by assignments.
Yeah, it was set up to alert them about assignments that were due, and it didn't show them the quiz, so they didn't see that it existed and missed it. Obviously, if we reopened it for them, because like if their Canvas didn't tell them it existed, that's not really their fault that it was by default configured like that. But I'm just mentioning it now to do be aware this assignment is a thing, it exists. There will be an announcement when you can actually access it. So sorry about that, but otherwise, you should be good. Just get the make sure you get the recording uploaded.
Where did it save to? That's what I'm wondering right now.
So it will save to your computer locally somewhere. If you open up your Zoom settings,